This mic is not plugged in, but it is a very fun prop. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Crimson YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be walking you guys through how to use UCAS to apply to UK universities. So basically, it's just the ABCs of applying to schools in the UK and how to use the UCAS website. All of this is going to be coming from my personal experience because I applied to UK schools. I sent my application in November of last year and I was accepted to all 5 of my schools, which, in case you were curious, were LSE, UCL, Southampton, Bristol, and Warwick. And I applied for both education studies and language, culture, and society at LSE. So that is kind of my experience with UCAS that I am now hoping to impart to you guys today. And also, for context, I applied as an international student because I go to school in Tanzania. So let's start with the basics. UCAS is currently open if you're hoping to apply to go to university next year. It opens in like mid-May every year. And when it opens, what that means is you can make an account. So you can go in now and you can like go to ucas.com, put in your email, put in a password, and make an account. And I strongly recommend that you do that right now, like as soon as you finish this video, because having a UCAS account will add you to like the newsletter, so you can get like some like emails with like some insights about applying to schools, because they can give like tips on personal statement writing and things like that that could be pretty useful for you. And when you have a UCAS account, you can go into the UCAS website and you can look through different universities, different courses, and like their grade requirements, which is going to be really helpful when you're like trying to narrow down what universities and what courses you're hoping to apply to. Because when you're applying to the UK, you apply to a specific university and to a specific degree. You don't just apply and then choose a major later like with the States. You have to really know like what you want to study, and it's pretty difficult to change that unless you go through clearing, which is something else that you can read more about on UCAS. So yeah, so in terms of choosing your university and your course on UCAS, you have 5 options. So when you are applying, like there is a limit. It's not like with Common App. I think Common App has a limit of 17 or 10 or something, but UCAS's limit is 5. And within those 5, you cannot apply to both Oxford and Cambridge. So what's funny is a lot of people often wonder like, oh, how come Oxford and Cambridge acceptance rates are like so much higher compared to the Ivy League? It's because UCAS limits how many people can apply. So if you're applying there, and also people often, because you only have 5 choices, people won't just apply for fun to Oxford and Cambridge, which sort of like makes the applicant pool smaller. So the people that they accept, even though it is small, the applicant pool is already small because like it's kind of like people are weeded out. So yeah, that's kind of the point, is because they don't want people to like over subscribe to different universities. So you really want to know if you are going to be an Oxbridge applicant, there is an earlier deadline for UCAS. You have to apply by 15th of October, whereas everybody else has until 31st of January. So those are things to be aware of if you're hoping to apply Oxbridge through UCAS. If you're like in the summer before senior year, that's kind of the ideal time to start working on your UCAS application. You can start even earlier. You can start the summer before junior year. But yeah, the latest time is the summer before your final year of school, because this is when you have to like actually start thinking about what course am I going to apply to? What universities do I want? What are the grades I think I'm going to get? And what does that mean for where I can apply? So, okay, I'm sorry, the lighting keeps changing because I use natural light to film these videos. But anyways, start thinking about your interests, what your career goals are, and the subjects that you enjoyed studying like when you were in high school, because that's going to inform what courses you're applying to, and what you're writing in your personal statement, because your personal statement is specifically about your course that you're applying to as well. So if you want to go to like a big name, like prestigious school, but you're not expecting to get like big name prestigious school level grades, one thing that you could do is, if you're kind of flexible about your course options and like what you're open to studying, you could go for like the less popular course, or because those are often the ones with lower grade requirements. Like I know for a fact that like classics at Oxford goes for like AAA or AAB or something like that, which is like much lower than a lot of classes at Oxford. So if you are wanting to study something that's more like rare, like I know that like languages sometimes are often less popular, that could be helpful. But if you know that you want to study something like engineering or law, like a popular course, and you know in your heart that's what you want to do, then I don't recommend like changing what you study just because you want to go to like Oxford, or you want to like increase your chances of getting into like these schools. Because for one, this is not even a reliable tactic. It might not work. It just is statistically going to give you an edge. And two, because like it's just not worth, you know, giving up your future just to say I went to like this slightly fancier school than I would have gone to if I did my degree. Like that's not going to really help you in the future. When you're deciding, make sure you read the course outlines for your degrees to see what you're actually going to be studying. And you can track what you like through UCAS, because you can like click your favorites and you can like make a short list all on UCAS with your account, which can really kind of just help narrow down the search. Next, we're going to talk about like the essay itself, right? The personal statement. What do you need to do when you're prepping to write it? Essay is like basically like you arguing your case for why you should be selected to study this course. I would say to study this course at this university. However, the essay is sent to all 5 of your UCAS choices. So if you, let's say, ever since I was a child, I've wanted to go to Oxford, that's not going to be useful if you're also applying to Bristol and UCL and all these other schools, and they're going to see it and be like, oh, you don't want to go here. So never name any specific schools, because like the other schools are not gonna like it, obviously. Like don't be too specific of like, oh, this professor in this university, like that, bad taste. You could be applying to like multiple courses. Like I did a sociology course and an education course, which means that in your essay you have to balance talking about both courses that you're applying to, which takes a specific like approach to the essay, which I would talk about more in a video about like the UCAS personal statement specifically, which if you guys are interested in, make sure you comment down below and let me know like what specific essay things you want to see, because I am planning on making the video, but I would like you guys' insight on it. So yeah, that would take a specific kind of like balance, but make sure if you're trying to apply to multiple courses that you like at least mention both of them. So to prepare for like writing your personal statement, you should be reading up on your subject area, like read popular books, watch interviews, TED Talks from like people in your field, just to sort of get like points and talking points to use in your essay and in your interviews if your university has interviews, because UK schools really value knowledge of the course. They want you to know what you're actually getting into. So in your personal statement, you really have to reference these like arguments, these opinions that you formed from reading or like watching these key things in your field. And if you have other summer plans, like internships, projects, whatever, like you're working on in the summer, try and make them align to your major somehow, because that'll be really beneficial to you. Because if you can link it back to your major, you can talk about that extensively in your essay. Like I did that for my passion project. It was a key thing in my essay, and I think that was really useful. So by the end of the summer, if you're going into your last year of school, by the end of the summer break, you should have at least like a draft, at the very least an outline. But it would be ideal if you have like at least a first draft of your essay, which when you open school, if you have your university counselor, your English teacher, any like adult who can write well and who knows you well, they can help you like work through it, or you can just work through it yourself. But by the end of the summer, at least have a draft done. Other than the essay, the application has a couple other parts, which I'll talk about briefly because it's not really very much. So you have like, for one, you have a reference, which is like, I think it's 1 or 2 teachers who knows you really well, who we can like just like speak to you in the class, outside of the class, just like you want to focus on academics, passion for learning, that kind of thing, and they write it for you. So like when school starts, ask for that early, because teachers get really swamped like towards like December, November, before Christmas break, because everybody who forgot to ask for a reference is asking for a reference. So don't be the one who forgets to ask for a reference. And you also have to fill in like some questions for your personal information for UCAS, which they'll ask you stuff like about your family background, your like educational history, your grades, that kind of thing. So yeah, it doesn't really take very long. You could do it all in an afternoon, quite honestly. That's what I did. As soon as UCAS opened, I finished all the questions because I didn't want to deal with that again. There's also a £27 application fee for UCAS, £27 for all 5 of your choices. So it is pretty good value for money. I know that like £27 is probably a lot. It could be a lot in your local currency, or it could be a lot just for you and your family. But I think it's an investment that's really worth it, especially if you put in the work in your application and you make it actually good, because you can apply to scholarships for a lot of these schools. So yeah, really look for scholarships if that's something that you need to like have for university. During the summer, you should be looking into those and those applications and those requirements to sort of like help your chances of getting a scholarship. And finally, if you need any English tests for your application for your universities, check out what tests are required, make plans to get them over the summer, that kind of thing. You really want to have as little as possible to do when school starts, because if you have a lot to do when school starts, you will get overwhelmed, and you don't want to be getting overwhelmed because senior year is a lot already. So once you've done all of that, then you are ready to apply to UCAS. So get out of this video, type in ucas.com, make your little account, and get started on the search. It is exciting. Get excited, because it's scary. It's terrifying. You could not get into your dream school. You could not get that scholarship that you need. But it's also a terrific experience. Wherever you end up, just know that you are getting a good education. You're going to a country with a lot of history, some good, some bad, but like that's everywhere. That's really everywhere, you know. Wherever your journey takes you, that is where you were meant to go, and rejection is just redirection, guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and that'll be it from me. Yeah, see you guys.